Right now, as you sit here listening to these words, something extraordinary is happening. Every challenge you're facing, every disruption in your life, every moment of uncertainty, it might feel like chaos, but it is not random. Beneath the surface of what seems confusing and disordered, there is a deeper orchestration at play, a hidden intelligence weaving everything into place exactly as it should be. This is the greatest paradox of human existence. What feels like life falling apart is often life falling into alignment. The mind interprets disruption as danger, but the universe knows it as reorganization. To the nervous system, uncertainty feels like threat. To the quantum field, it is simply the rearranging of probabilities, collapsing into a new timeline that matches the vibration of who you are becoming. And here is the truth most people miss. You are not simply a passenger in this unfolding story. You are the observer, the catalyst, the one who calls forth new realities through the frequency you hold. The paradox is this: while you believe life is happening to you, in reality, it is happening through you. And every experience, even the ones you label as painful or unfair, is the exact frequency required to unlock the next stage of your evolution. Pause and think about it. Have you noticed how the moments that seemed like complete breakdowns eventually led you to breakthroughs you could never have planned? The job you lost that forced you to discover a hidden passion. The relationship that ended, which opened the door to a deeper connection with yourself. The health crisis that pushed you to awaken to the intelligence of your own body. What if nothing was actually going wrong? What if the universe has always been a mirror, reflecting not what you want on the surface, but what you need to grow? Science has already hinted at this truth. Quantum physics shows us that the act of observation itself changes reality. Energy collapses into form based on the awareness that perceives it. In other words, your consciousness is not just watching reality, it is shaping it. And that means the so-called chaos in your life is not chaos at all. It is reality reorganizing to meet the signal you are broadcasting, the vibration you are holding in this exact moment. Here is the paradox. The more you resist, the harder life feels. The more you trust, the faster alignment happens. The shift is not about forcing reality to obey your will. The shift is about aligning your state of being with the deeper intelligence that already knows where you're going. And when you finally understand this, fear begins to dissolve. Anxiety loses its grip. You realize, I am safe. Reality is unfolding as planned. So in this video, we will uncover exactly why everything happening in your life right now is for a reason, and how to unlock the secret intelligence behind it. By the end, you'll see that every disruption is coded with a message, every breakdown is a doorway, and every moment of uncertainty is simply life preparing you for your next level of becoming. When disruption enters your life, your nervous system reacts instantly. It tightens. Your breath becomes shallow. Your thoughts begin racing in loops of fear and worry. This reaction is deeply programmed, a survival mechanism passed down through generations of humans who needed to identify threats quickly to stay alive. But here's the deeper truth. What feels like danger to your nervous system is often only the unfamiliar. And what is unfamiliar is not always unsafe, it is simply new. The nervous system is like an antenna, constantly scanning the environment for stability or threat. When something unexpected happens, a sudden loss, a shocking change, a plan that collapses, your nervous system floods your body with signals. Be careful, something is wrong. Yet from the perspective of the universe, nothing is wrong. Instead, the quantum field is reorganizing itself around your evolution. The very thing that feels like chaos is the adjustment process that makes space for who you are becoming. Think about it like this. When you upgrade the operating system of a computer, the screen might freeze for a moment, files might seem misplaced, and certain programs stop working until the update is complete. But once it's finished, the system runs smoother, faster, and more aligned with new possibilities. The same is true for you. Disruption is not punishment, it is recalibration. Every challenge you face presses on the edges of your nervous system's comfort zone. It stretches you, forcing the mind and body to adapt. While your nervous system screams, "This is unsafe," your soul whispers, "This is necessary." And the paradox is this: the greater your mission, the more intense the recalibrations you will experience. Science backs this up. Neuroscience shows us that the brain's plasticity, its ability to rewire and create new pathways, happens most during moments of stress, challenge, or disruption. In other words, your nervous system is not breaking down. It is rewiring itself to hold a new frequency. But here is the danger. Most people misinterpret disruption as a sign that life is against them. They resist, they panic, they contract. And in that contraction, they block the very intelligence trying to move through them. The truth is this: disruption is not random. It is precisely timed. It is the universe's way of preparing your body and mind to operate at a higher level of coherence. Imagine the caterpillar inside the cocoon. To the outside observer, it looks like destruction. The caterpillar dissolves into a formless soup. Its old identity literally breaks down. But within that chaos, new structures are forming, wings are growing, and transformation is underway. If you interrupted the process, the butterfly would never emerge. Your disruptions are the cocoon. The nervous system feels the breakdown, but the soul is guiding the breakthrough. The shift begins when you stop labeling disruption as bad and start asking, what intelligence is this chaos trying to bring into my life? That is how you begin to align with the deeper orchestration of reality. That is how you move from fear to trust, from contraction to expansion, and from victimhood to mastery. Most people live under the illusion that life is happening to them. Something out there decides their fate. Other people, the economy, their past, or even luck. This mindset keeps them trapped in victimhood, powerless to change their circumstances. But the deeper truth is this: life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. Every thought you think, every emotion you hold, every belief you repeat acts like a signal broadcast into the quantum field. That signal interacts with infinite possibilities, collapsing them into the version of reality that matches your vibration. Think of yourself as a projector. Reality is the screen. The images you see on the screen are not random. They are a reflection of what the projector is playing. If you don't like what's on the screen, you don't walk up to it and try to erase it with your hands. You change the reel inside the projector. Your inner state, your consciousness is that reel. Change it, and the entire movie of your life changes. This is why you'll notice repeating patterns in your life. Perhaps the same kind of relationship breakdown happens again and again, just with different people. Or financial struggles keep cycling back no matter how hard you try to escape. The reason isn't fate or punishment. It's feedback. The quantum field is mirroring back the frequency you hold. Here's the shift. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Begin asking, what is this showing me about myself? When you make that shift, you stop fighting reality and start using it as a mirror. Suddenly, you're no longer a powerless victim of circumstance, but an empowered creator who sees every event as feedback for alignment. Quantum physics supports this view. The observer effect shows us that reality responds to observation. Your conscious awareness doesn't passively watch reality. It influences it. This means your thoughts and emotions are not private. They are creative forces shaping the probabilities around you. Every breakdown, every disruption, every so-called problem is actually an invitation. An invitation to shift the broadcast, to upgrade your frequency, to choose a different signal. Here's an example. Imagine two people lose their jobs on the same day. One collapses into despair, telling themselves, I'm worthless. I'll never succeed. Their broadcast is one of lack, fear, and hopelessness, and reality mirrors that back. The other person pauses, breathes, and says, this is the universe redirecting me to something greater. Their broadcast is one of trust, possibility, and openness, and reality reorganizes to meet that signal. The event was the same. The response was different. The broadcast determined the outcome. And here lies your true power. Life is always happening through you, not to you. You are not at the mercy of random events. You are in dialogue with an intelligent universe that mirrors your vibration with precision. So the next time life feels chaotic, pause and ask yourself, what am I broadcasting right now? That single moment of awareness can shift everything. If life is always happening through you, then the next question is, why does it sometimes feel so heavy, frustrating, and painful? The answer lies in one word: resistance. Resistance is the inner battle between what is happening and what you think should be happening. It is the mental and emotional tension of saying, "This shouldn't be happening to me. I don't want this. I can't accept this." But here's the paradox. The more you resist an experience, the more energy you give to it. Resistance doesn't dissolve the event. It amplifies it. Imagine holding a beach ball underwater. The harder you push it down, the more force it builds until it explodes back up, splashing everywhere. That's exactly how resistance works. The more you suppress, fight, and reject reality, the more it pushes back. Now think about the quantum field, the invisible intelligence organizing reality. This field is always responding to your frequency. When your mind is locked in resistance, you are essentially broadcasting a signal of struggle, fear, and rejection. And the quantum field mirrors that back by sending more situations that keep you trapped in struggle, fear, and rejection. Resistance is not just emotional, it is physical. Neuroscience shows that when you resist an experience, your nervous system enters fight or flight mode. Stress hormones flood your body. Your brain locks into survival patterns, making it impossible to access higher creativity, intuition, or calm awareness. In this state, you literally cannot perceive the solutions and opportunities available to you. This is why people often feel stuck in cycles of chaos. It's not that life is punishing them. It's that resistance has blocked their ability to see the intelligence behind the events. Here's the shift. Instead of resisting, practice allowance. Allowance doesn't mean passively giving up or letting life walk all over you. It means softening into trust. It means saying, "I may not understand why this is happening right now, but I trust there is intelligence behind it. I choose to align with that intelligence instead of fighting it." When you release resistance, your nervous system relaxes. Your energy field softens. And suddenly you become receptive again. The solutions, the synchronicities, the opportunities that were invisible in resistance begin to appear. This is the gateway to flow state, that magical feeling when everything just seems to click into place. Flow is not random luck. Flow is the natural result of releasing resistance and aligning with universal intelligence. Think of it like a river. You are floating downstream, but your mind is constantly grabbing branches, clinging to rocks, and trying to swim upstream. That's resistance. The moment you let go, the river carries you exactly where you're meant to be. In ancient wisdom traditions, this is called surrender. In quantum terms, it's alignment. The universe is not against you. It is not testing you. It is guiding you. But the guidance can only be heard when the noise of resistance quiets down. So ask yourself right now, where am I resisting life? Is it in relationships, finances, health, purpose? Wherever it is, that resistance is blocking the very intelligence trying to guide you. The moment you soften, the moment you allow, you open the door to miracles. Not because the universe suddenly changes, but because you do. When you look around, life can sometimes appear messy. Unpredictable events, sudden challenges, relationships breaking, opportunities collapsing. At first glance, it all feels like chaos. But quantum science and ancient wisdom both reveal a deeper truth. Beneath the apparent disorder, there is coherence, a hidden order shaping every detail of your reality. Let's start with the word itself. Coherence means harmony, alignment, a pattern where everything fits together perfectly. In quantum physics, coherence happens when particles begin to move in sync, vibrating together as if they are part of one unified field. What looks random from the outside is, at a deeper level, perfectly synchronized. Now imagine applying that to your life. Every disruption you face, the job loss, the heartbreak, the unexpected change, is not random chaos. It is the field reorganizing itself, collapsing old patterns and preparing new ones. What feels like falling apart is actually falling into place. Think about how stars are born. A massive cloud of dust and gas collapses under its own gravity. From the outside, it looks like destruction, a violent implosion. But inside that collapse, a new star ignites, bringing light to the universe. Chaos gave birth to coherence. The same is true for you. When parts of your life collapse, it may look messy, painful, or unfair. But beneath that surface, a higher intelligence is aligning your reality with who you are becoming. The field is clearing out what no longer serves you so that the right relationships, opportunities, and experiences can come into alignment. Here's where it gets even more fascinating. Neuroscience shows that your brain naturally seeks patterns in chaos. When something unexpected happens, your nervous system initially reacts with stress. But if you pause, breathe, and allow yourself to observe, your brain begins to detect the underlying order. This is why meditation, mindfulness, and presence are so powerful. They shift you from panic to perception. When you stop resisting and instead look for the coherence, you begin to notice synchronicities, the meaningful coincidences that guide your path. A chance conversation, a book falling off a shelf, a sudden idea that feels like it came out of nowhere. These are not accidents. They are signs of coherence revealing itself to you. Quantum coherence also explains why groups of people can create massive change when they align their energy. Studies on meditation have shown that when large groups focus on peace, measurable drops in violence occur in surrounding cities. This is coherence at a collective level, chaos giving way to harmony when enough individuals shift their frequency. The key is learning to trust this process in your own life. When something unexpected happens, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What new order is being born through this?" This subtle shift changes everything. Instead of feeling like a victim of chaos, you become a conscious observer of coherence. Instead of fearing collapse, you recognize it as reorganization. Instead of doubting life, you begin to trust its intelligence. Here's a practical way to anchor this. Pause when disruption occurs. Don't react immediately. Shift your focus from problem to pattern. Ask yourself what might be realigning. Look for synchronicities. Pay attention to small signs guiding you. Hold gratitude. Gratitude collapses resistance and reveals coherence faster. The truth is, the universe is never random. Every accident is design. Every ending is a beginning. Every collapse is a reordering. Coherence is the secret structure beneath your chaos. The moment you trust it, the moment you align with it, life begins to flow with a sense of meaning and purpose that you could never access by control alone. Right now, if you pause for a moment and reflect, you'll realize something extraordinary. Everything happening in your life has a hidden intelligence behind it. The setbacks, the delays, the sudden shifts, none of it is random. The universe is not chaotic, it is conscious. But here's the challenge. Your mind doesn't always trust this intelligence. The ego wants control. It wants certainty. It wants to know exactly why something is happening and when it will resolve. That's why disruption feels so uncomfortable, because your conscious mind can't yet see the full pattern the universe is weaving. This is where trust becomes the key. Trust is not passive. It doesn't mean doing nothing. Trust is an active frequency that aligns you with the hidden intelligence of reality. When you trust, you move into resonance with the field, and the field begins to reveal its coherence more clearly. Think about your own nervous system. When you're in fear, your body contracts, your vision narrows, and your energy collapses. You miss the signs around you. But when you shift into trust, your body relaxes, your vision expands, and suddenly you start noticing synchronicities you couldn't see before. That phone call, that opportunity, that piece of knowledge that arrives at exactly the right time. Trust literally opens the window for quantum intelligence to guide you. And here's the important part. This intelligence does not only respond to your thoughts. It responds to your frequency, the energy you hold beneath your thoughts. That's why simply repeating affirmations without genuine trust doesn't work. If your words say, "I believe," but your body vibrates with doubt, the field reads your vibration, not your sentences. Now let's bring this to you directly. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, where in my life am I resisting the flow? Where am I doubting the intelligence of the process? Maybe it's your career. Maybe it's your relationships. Maybe it's your health. Wherever resistance exists, there is also an invitation, an opportunity to release control and step into trust. So here's your activation. I want you to write in the comments below, I trust the intelligence of the universe. Simple, powerful, direct. Why write it? Because speaking trust, or in this case typing it, creates coherence between your inner world and the outer world. It's not just a comment. It's an anchor, a declaration to yourself and to the field that you are ready to align with intelligence rather than resist it. And something subtle happens when hundreds or even thousands of people write the same declaration together. Creates a resonance, a frequency ripple that amplifies trust not just for you, but for everyone reading it. That is collective coherence in action. Here's a deeper layer. When you trust, you collapse resistance, and resistance is the biggest barrier between you and your next reality. The moment resistance dissolves, energy flows freely. Manifestation accelerates. Synchronicities multiply. Coherence reveals itself faster. Trust doesn't mean you'll never face challenges. It means that when challenges arise, you know they are purposeful. You stop asking, "Why me?" and instead declare, "This is for me." You begin to recognize every twist in your path as part of the design leading you to your higher alignment. And the more you practice trust, the more evidence you gather. You'll look back and realize that disappointment was actually redirection. That delay was perfect timing. That loss was a doorway to something far greater. So let's lock this in right now. Take a breath. Place your hand on your heart if you can. And repeat these words silently. I trust the intelligence guiding my life. Feel the vibration of those words move through your body. Notice how your energy shifts the moment you choose trust. Now share it below. Declare it. Activate it. Because when you do, you're not just typing words. You're signaling the quantum field that you are ready for coherence to reveal itself. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to experience small, gentle shifts in their lives while others go through massive storms, breakdowns, and intense transformations? The answer is simple yet profound. The intensity of your transformation is directly connected to the mission of your soul. The universe doesn't give everyone the same level of disruption because not everyone is here to play the same role. Some souls came to explore simple lessons of love, patience, or creativity. Others came to shift entire paradigms, to become catalysts for collective awakening. The greater your mission, the greater the intensity of your transformation. Why? Because the universe has to prepare you. If your mission requires you to hold space for thousands, or even millions of people, then your nervous system must be rewired. Your ego must be dismantled. Your attachments must be purified. The storms you face are not punishments, they are initiations. They shape you into the frequency that your mission demands. Think of it this way. A candle flame and a bonfire both produce light, but the conditions needed to create them are vastly different. A candle needs a match and a wick. A bonfire needs fuel, oxygen, and the willingness to withstand incredible heat. If your mission is a bonfire, your transformation will naturally be more intense. This is why comparing your journey to someone else's is pointless. You don't know the contract their soul made with the universe. You don't know the level of frequency their mission requires. What feels like chaos in your life may simply be the universe training you to expand your capacity. And here's the paradox. The more resistance you bring to this process, the more painful it feels. But the more trust you allow, the more quickly the transformation completes itself. The fire of transformation is not meant to burn you down. It is meant to burn away what no longer serves you. Let's go deeper. Your mission is not something you find in a single moment. It's not a job title, a role, or even a specific project. Your mission is the frequency you embody and the ripple effect it creates in the world. The universe orchestrates your experiences to shape that frequency. Every disruption, every loss, every challenge. It's all refining you, sculpting you into alignment with your mission. For example, if your mission is to teach others how to embody love, you will first be placed in situations where love seems absent. Why? Because only through experiencing the absence of love can you truly anchor its presence. If your mission is to awaken others to trust, you will face situations that force you to release control and surrender. The universe teaches you the very frequency you're meant to carry into the collective. So, if your life feels like it's been one storm after another, pause and ask yourself, What mission requires this level of preparation? What kind of impact am I being trained for? When you reframe your challenges as preparation, everything shifts. You stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as an initiate. Here's another layer. The universe never wastes energy. If you are going through an intense transformation, it's because you have the capacity to hold more light, more frequency, more coherence. The pain you've endured is proof of your strength, not a sign of weakness. Imagine for a moment that you are a vessel. The universe wants to pour through you more wisdom, more love, more energy. But if the vessel is full of cracks, distortions, and fear, the energy can't flow cleanly. Transformation seals the cracks. It rebuilds the vessel. It makes you capable of holding the energy your mission requires. Now, let's make this practical. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" shift the question to, "What is this preparing me for?" When you ask that question, you immediately move from victim to visionary. You align with the intelligence behind the disruption instead of fighting it. And here's a subtle but powerful truth. The intensity of your mission is not measured by fame or recognition. Some of the most powerful missions are carried out in silence. A mother raising children with awareness. A healer working quietly with a few people. A creator producing work that ripples far beyond what they'll ever see. Mission is about frequency, not visibility. So if your life feels heavy, if your challenges feel relentless, remember, the weight of your transformation is equal to the light you're here to embody. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Take this moment to affirm, I accept the intensity of my transformation because I know my mission requires it. Let those words settle. Feel how they shift your perspective. The storms no longer feel like obstacles. They feel like training grounds. The chaos becomes choreography. And you begin to see that the universe has been preparing you all along for the exact role only you can play. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every belief you hold is not locked inside your mind. It is radiating outward, constantly, like an invisible signal. Your consciousness is not a private diary, it is a broadcasting system. And whether you realize it or not, you are always sending frequencies into the quantum field. Think about a radio station. It doesn't matter if only one song is playing in the studio. The broadcast is picked up by countless radios tuned to the same frequency. In the same way, your inner state is being broadcast into the field, and reality aligns itself with the signal you are sending. This explains why two people can live in the same external circumstances but experience completely different realities. One person radiates fear, and so they see threats, problems, and limitations everywhere. Another radiates trust, and so they see opportunities, synchronicities, and support everywhere. The external conditions are the same, but the broadcast is different, and so the reality each person experiences is different. Here's where it gets deeper. The universe doesn't respond to your words or even your conscious thoughts alone. It responds to the coherence of your broadcast. If you say, "I'm abundant," but underneath you feel fear and lack, the signal is mixed. And what you experience in your reality will be mixed as well. But when your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs align into one coherent frequency, the field responds with clarity. This is why practices like meditation, breath work, and visualization are so powerful. They tune your broadcast. They shift your inner station so that what you're transmitting becomes consistent. When you become consistent, the field becomes responsive. Let's look at an example. Imagine someone who constantly worries about being judged. Even if they don't say anything out loud, that worry is a frequency being broadcast. And inevitably, they will find themselves in situations where people misunderstand them, criticize them, or ignore them. Not because the world is cruel, but because their signal is calling those experiences into alignment. On the other hand, imagine someone who holds a deep belief that life is always guiding them, always supporting them. That person may encounter the same external challenges, but they will perceive help where others see obstacles, synchronicities where others see coincidences, and opportunities where others see dead ends. The broadcast shapes the reception. Here's a powerful insight: you cannot not broadcast. Even when you're silent, even when you're not doing anything, your frequency is speaking. Your posture, your nervous system, your attention, all of it is sending signals into the field. The question is not whether you are broadcasting, but whether you are doing it consciously or unconsciously. Most people are broadcasting unconsciously. Their signal is filled with old trauma, inherited beliefs, cultural programming, and fear-based narratives. And then they wonder why their life feels chaotic. They don't realize that the chaos is just the feedback loop of their own unconscious broadcast. But the moment you become aware, the game changes. You can shift the channel. You can choose to send out a different signal. And when you do, reality reorganizes around it. Here's something fascinating. Your body is part of the broadcasting system. Your heart, in particular, generates an electromagnetic field measurable up to several feet beyond your physical body. That field carries the imprint of your emotions and directly influences the quantum field around you. When your heart is incoherent, filled with stress, anxiety, or anger, the broadcast is distorted. When your heart is coherent, filled with gratitude, love, or calm, the broadcast is harmonious. That's why gratitude is more than just a positive thought. It is a powerful tuning fork. When you cultivate gratitude, you are literally reprogramming your frequency. You're shifting your station to one that attracts more experiences that match gratitude. So ask yourself, what station am I broadcasting right now? If reality feels heavy, chaotic, or stagnant, it may be time to tune your signal, not by forcing fake positivity, but by aligning with authentic states that uplift your frequency. One of the simplest ways to do this is through presence. When you slow down, breathe, and bring awareness to this moment, your signal becomes clearer. The noise of past regrets and future anxieties begins to fade, and what remains is the pure frequency of now. And the quantum field responds to now. Here's the empowering truth. You don't have to broadcast perfectly to create shifts. Even small adjustments change the signal. Choosing gratitude for 5 minutes. Choosing trust in 1 moment. Choosing to release judgment just once. Each of these shifts the station. And as you repeat them, the broadcast stabilizes. Let's take it one step further. The reason collective consciousness is so powerful is because broadcasts combine. When groups of people align in the same frequency, through prayer, meditation, or shared intention, the field responds exponentially. That's why global meditations have measurable effects on peace, weather, and even political events. Consciousness is not isolated. It is a network, and every broadcast contributes. So here is the invitation. Become conscious of what you're broadcasting. Not in a way that makes you self-critical, but in a way that empowers you. Remember, the field is always listening, always responding. And the more coherent your signal, the more precise and supportive the feedback. Pause right now. Place a hand over your heart. Take a slow breath. Feel gratitude for something simple. Maybe the fact that you're alive in this moment hearing these words. Notice how your body shifts. That shift is not private. It's already being broadcast. And as it goes out, reality is already rearranging itself to meet the new signal. Your consciousness is not just inside you. It is the station through which the universe tunes itself. And when you broadcast with intention, you don't just change your life, you help shift the collective frequency as well. One of the most fascinating discoveries in modern physics is the phenomenon of quantum entanglement, the mysterious connection between two particles, no matter how far apart they may be. When one particle changes, the other responds instantly, faster than the speed of light. This single discovery shattered our traditional view of separation and proved that at the most fundamental level of reality, everything is connected. But here's the part most people miss. Entanglement isn't just happening at the level of particles. It is happening in your life, your relationships, and your experiences. The people you meet, the events that unfold, the synchronicities that surprise you, these are not random. They are entangled threads in the vast quantum web of consciousness. Think about someone you haven't spoken to in years, and suddenly they call you. Or you're considering a new path in life, and out of nowhere, resources and opportunities show up to support you. These are not coincidences. They are signals of entanglement. Here's a deeper way to understand it. When you focus on a thought or intention with enough energy, you become entangled with the reality that matches it. That reality may not show up instantly, but it is now connected to you in the field. The more consistent your energy, the stronger the entanglement becomes, until eventually, it collapses into your lived experience. This is why your thoughts and emotions matter so much. They are not isolated events in your brain. They are frequencies weaving threads of entanglement in the field of infinite possibilities. But here's the paradox. Entanglement doesn't mean you control the universe. It means you are in relationship with it. You are not the puppet master pulling strings. You are the dance partner responding to the music. When you move, the field responds. When the field moves, you respond. The dance is continuous, alive, and intimate. Think about relationships. Have you ever noticed how certain people come into your life at exactly the right time? Maybe they teach you something, challenge you, or open a new doorway. These connections are not accidents. They are entangled intersections, points where your frequency and there's a line in the field. And when the lesson or experience is complete, the entanglement often dissolves, freeing you to connect with new people and possibilities. Here's an example. Imagine two people who live on opposite sides of the world. They don't know each other, yet both are feeling called toward a similar vision, perhaps starting a healing practice or writing a book about consciousness. Without realizing it, they are already entangled in the field. Eventually, circumstances align, maybe through a mutual friend, an online post, or a synchronistic event, and they meet. To them, it feels miraculous. But at the quantum level, it was inevitable. The entanglement was already there, waiting to collapse into reality. This is why it's so important to pay attention to your intuitions and synchronicities. They are the signals of entanglement guiding you toward alignment. Ignoring them is like ignoring a compass. But when you follow them, you discover that life is not random. It is orchestrated. Now, let's address something profound. Trauma and challenges are also entangled. Many of the difficulties you face are not punishments or failures. They are entangled threads designed to activate growth, healing, or transformation. The painful relationship, the unexpected loss, the moment of deep uncertainty, these are also part of the web. They stretch you, awaken you, and prepare you for the next level of your becoming. Quantum entanglement shows us that we are never truly alone. Even when you feel isolated, you are connected to countless unseen threads, to people you have yet to meet, to experiences you cannot yet imagine, to futures waiting to unfold. Your very existence is woven into a larger tapestry that spans across time and space. Here's a powerful truth. The quality of your entanglement depends on the quality of your attention. If you focus on fear, lack, and limitation, you entangle yourself with timelines that reflect those states. But if you focus on trust, love, and possibility, you entangle with higher timelines. This doesn't mean you'll never face challenges, but it does mean that the entangled outcomes will carry more harmony, support, and transformation. One way to consciously strengthen positive entanglement is through intention. When you set a clear, heartfelt intention, you send a signal into the field that begins weaving threads of connection to everything that can help fulfill that intention. You may not see the results immediately, but the connections are forming. And when the time is right, they crystallize into your lived reality. Another powerful practice is gratitude. Gratitude not only shifts your broadcast, as we discussed earlier, but also amplifies entanglement with supportive realities. When you feel grateful, you're saying to the universe, "Yes, this is the frequency I want more of." And the field responds by entangling you with more experiences that match gratitude. Remember, quantum entanglement doesn't operate by logic or linear cause and effect. It operates by resonance. The people and events that show up in your life are the ones resonating with your current frequency. That's why transformation feels so magical. When you shift your frequency, suddenly new people, opportunities, and experiences appear, as if out of nowhere. But they weren't random. They were already entangled with your new state of being, waiting for you to align. Here's the invitation. Trust the entanglements unfolding in your life. The delays, the surprises, the unexpected connections, they are all part of the web. You don't have to see the whole design to trust that it is intelligent. You don't have to control every outcome to know that you are being guided. Pause for a moment and reflect. Who or what in your life feels entangled right now? What synchronicities keep showing up? What themes repeat themselves? These are not coincidences. They are threads pulling you toward transformation. When you begin to see your life as a tapestry of entanglement, everything shifts. The struggles gain meaning. The connections gain depth. The surprises gain trust. And you begin to realize that your role is not to untangle the web, but to align with it, to show up with awareness, gratitude, and presence, and allow the threads to guide you where you are meant to go. There are moments in life when transformation feels slow, almost invisible, like seeds germinating beneath the soil. But there are also moments when change happens at lightning speed. You shift perspectives in a single conversation, release years of limitation in one breakthrough, or step into a completely new chapter of life almost overnight. These are what I call quantum windows, openings in the fabric of reality that allow you to evolve rapidly. Think of a quantum window as a doorway in time. Most of the time, life feels linear and predictable, step by step, day by day. But every so often, a doorway opens, and you are invited to leap. Through that doorway, timelines collapse, karmic loops resolve, and accelerated growth becomes possible. What might have taken years in the old paradigm can unfold in days, weeks, or even moments. You may have already experienced a quantum window without realizing it. Maybe you suddenly met someone who changed the course of your life forever. Or you had a crisis that pushed you into a completely new level of strength and clarity. Or perhaps you stumbled upon a teaching, a book, or an insight that unlocked awareness you had been searching for your entire life. These are all examples of windows. Here's the fascinating part. Quantum windows often appear disguised as chaos, loss, or uncertainty. Why? Because to leap into a new reality, the old one must first destabilize. When you lose a job, end a relationship, or face a health challenge, it may feel like life is falling apart. But often, these are the very disruptions that open the window. The structure of your old identity cracks, creating space for something new to emerge. In physics, we know that a system becomes most reorganizable when it is pushed to the edge of chaos. This is exactly what happens during quantum windows. The disruption shakes you out of autopilot and forces you to step into conscious creation. You either resist and cling to the old, or you trust and leap into the new. So how can you recognize a quantum window? There are some key signs. Acceleration of synchronicities. Suddenly, meaningful coincidences multiply. You meet the right people, see repeating numbers, or notice signs pointing you in a specific direction. Intense emotions. Windows often come with heightened feelings. Fear, excitement, grief, or joy. These emotions are signals that energy is shifting rapidly. A sense of inevitability. You may feel like something is calling you forward, even if you don't fully understand it. Unusual opportunities. Doors open that were never available before, and things align with surprising ease. But here's the challenge. Not every quantum window is automatically beneficial. The direction you leap depends on your frequency. If you fall into fear, blame, or resistance, you may entangle with lower timelines, repeating old patterns in new forms. But if you enter the window with trust, awareness, and courage, you unlock accelerated evolution. Think of it this way. A quantum window is like a rocket launch. The energy is amplified, the velocity is increased, and the trajectory can change drastically. But the direction of the launch depends on where you aim. If you stay unconscious, the launch may feel chaotic or destructive. But if you aim with clarity, the launch can take you into higher levels of purpose, love, and expansion. This is why practices like meditation, journaling, and conscious intention are so powerful during times of transition. They help you orient your frequency so that when the window opens, you are aligned with your highest path. Let's consider a personal example. Imagine you've been stuck in a job that drains you, but you've been too afraid to leave. Suddenly, the company downsizes, and you lose your position. At first, it feels devastating. But then, within weeks, you're offered a new opportunity in a field you've always wanted to explore. That's a quantum window. The loss was not punishment. It was the cracking of the old structure so that the new one could emerge. Another example. You've been struggling with a health issue, and during your healing journey, you adopt new habits, connect with new people, and gain wisdom that transforms not just your body but your entire way of living. What began as a crisis became a quantum leap. Here's a profound truth. Quantum windows are not rare. They are woven into the rhythm of your life. But whether you recognize and step through them is up to you. Many people miss their windows because they are too focused on resisting the chaos instead of trusting the invitation. So, how can you navigate a quantum window with grace? Stay present, don't rush to fix everything. Pause, feel. Allow the moment to reveal its deeper intelligence. Release control, you don't need to know the entire path. You just need to take the next aligned step. Listen to intuition. In windows, your inner guidance becomes louder. Trust the nudges. Focus on frequency. Ask yourself, what energy am I bringing into this transition? That energy will shape the outcome. Embrace the unknown. Windows lead to uncharted territory. The more you embrace uncertainty, the more the field can surprise you. One of the most powerful aspects of quantum windows is their collective nature. Right now, humanity as a whole is in a massive quantum window. The old systems, political, economic, ecological, spiritual, are destabilizing. It looks like chaos. But what if this is not collapse, but opportunity? What if we are being invited into a collective leap of consciousness? You are not just navigating your personal windows, you are also contributing to the collective one. Every time you choose trust over fear, love over division, and expansion over contraction, you strengthen the collective field for all of us. Your individual leap contributes to humanity's collective evolution. So here's the invitation. Begin to see challenges not as dead ends but as doorways. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what window is this opening for me? That single shift in perspective can turn a breakdown into a breakthrough, a loss into a liberation, and a crisis into an initiation. Remember, windows don't stay open forever. They appear, they invite, and if you don't act, they close. But don't worry, new ones will always come. The universe is infinitely generous in offering opportunities for growth. The key is to become aware, to recognize the window when it opens, and to step through it with courage. If you're listening to this right now, chances are you're already in or approaching a quantum window. The very fact that you're drawn to these ideas is evidence that your consciousness is preparing for a leap. Trust that. Feel into it. Ask yourself, what am I being invited into right now? What reality is calling me forward? Because when you say yes to the window, when you step through with faith and awareness, you unlock evolution that would have taken years or decades otherwise. You discover that the universe is not making you wait. It is accelerating your awakening. And that, perhaps, is the greatest gift of quantum windows. They remind us that transformation is not a slow climb up a mountain. It can be an instant flight into a higher reality. Life is not asking you to escape what's happening. It's asking you to rewrite the story you're telling about what's happening. The old story says, I am a victim of my circumstances. Things just happen to me. I have no control. But your new story says, reality is responding to me. The universe is reflecting me. Every challenge is a training ground for my evolution. The difference between the two stories is not what happens to you. It's how you interpret it. The same event that once broke you can now make you unshakable. The same loss that once shattered your identity can now become the seed of your highest self. This is the practical integration of quantum awareness. You don't deny the difficulty, but you let the meaning shift. So how do you live this integration? First, you recognize patterns. When disruption comes, instead of panicking, you ask, what is this teaching me? What energy is this helping me release? What new frequency is this inviting me to embody? That question alone shifts you from victim to creator. Second, you begin to broadcast your new story in your actions. You speak with more coherence. You choose differently. You align with trust instead of fear. And slowly, but surely, reality begins to mirror back your upgraded frequency. You become a conscious participant in your evolution. You realize the universe was never against you. It was always training you, preparing you, evolving you. And now, as you integrate, you see clearly, everything happening right now is for a reason. It is perfect. It is intentional. And it is leading you into the next version of your life. This is the closing of one chapter and the opening of another. The page is turning. The story is yours to write. And with every breath, you are broadcasting a frequency that shapes the world around you. Trust it. Embody it. Live it.